Dear Gustavo, it's fantastic to be able to talk to you today.
A pleasure for me.
We know each other for many, many years.
Yes.
And I think it's not a secret that I had the chance to conduct you once.
Yes, exactly.
In Venezuela with your fantastic and beautiful orchestra.
Yeah.
So when you come here to the Berlin Phil, now I think for the fourth time maybe?
Maybe fourth, fifth time.
Fifth time?
Yes.
So you had really a huge variety of programs. Mm-hmm. Now, after you have a child, a boy mm-hmm. with 1 year, I discover that the first half of the concert, which we just heard, mm-hmm. has a lot to do with children.
Children, yes, okay.
Of course, Maurice Ravel's piece, Ma Mère Loire, My Mother Goose, mm-hmm. is about fairy tales.
Yes, Mi Madre la Oca in Spanish.
Yes, bravo. So, would your child love this music?
Look, I think the simplicity and the beauty of this music is such a natural thing for a child to connect with. Originally, to play with piano, orchestrated, a genius of the orchestration. Absolutely. So this kind of simplicity of colors, melodies, and harmonies give to this music this kind of easy connection mm-hmm. with the natural soul. Even you don't have to be a musician to love this music. And I remember talking to one of the musicians of the orchestra after the first rehearsal. He came and he told me something really true. When something is so beautiful that is painful, mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's really like such a perfection, such a simplicity, such a beautiful atmosphere give to you something like, wow, how can I deal with this beauty? It's like Death in Venice, this movie, sure. This Visconti movie. This with guy dying, because the beauty of this other young guy. So it's this kind of atmosphere. And how we know this kind of feelings for a child is something natural. Yeah. You will love, you will enjoy, you will connect, but you will never suffer for that. Mm-hmm. So this kind of paradoxic, vision of this beautiful music is great. So, of course, it's music for children, but in a way, is so. For us as an artist, is so beautiful that almost you suffer for the beauty of that music.
Because of all your experiences in life. Of course, yes. We have a different view. For me, personally, as a musician, this piece has changed so much from mm-hmm. the original version, mm-hmm. from this very simple version mm-hmm. for two piano players. It was first performed from two kids,
yes.
from one 6 and
mm-hmm.
one 10-year-old. And his idea was to make it as simple as possible,
absolutely.
As playable as possible. Mm-hmm. By this transition, by this metamorphosis mm-hmm. to the orchestra mm-hmm. score, for me, it opened a completely new world.
Well, also is, yes, this music have to be as simple as you are in a dinner in your house, and then you want to play something with your friend with a wine, talking about, it's not for children, of course, mm-hmm. but you have to think in this piece like this, Many great pianists now play this version, the original version, and it's so amazing how the music is, mm-hmm. But in a way, there is the genius of Ravel, to have something really simple and to orchestrate in a very simple way, but at the same time, very deep. Mm-hmm. Because when you have a line, a high line, that you can get with violins, oboes, flute. But he take,
sometimes crazy combination.
Yeah. That you get like a great atmosphere. A pizzicato between basses and clarinet. Or, celesta playing, with the piccolo combining. It's this kind of mystic. Even I feel it's very Asian culture.
Oh, yeah.
You know, this very like. And I remember I was in Paris a few days ago, and it was a Debussy exposition of his music and the art that he loved. So it was beautiful to see that he loved the Asian culture, you know, this paint. And you can see this in this period of the music, this period of the composers, the Impressionism, how everything is connected. That simplicity of that, I remember, is a wave that they said that it was not connected, but it can be connected with la mer. So you see that, and you can feel this music. You can feel
this beautiful picture with its wave.
Exactly, with the wave and the little
Japanese drawing, isn't it?
Exactly.
Isn't it Japanese?
Exactly, it's Japanese. So it's really well connected to all of this culture, I think. You know, you can, music is like that, you know, art, you know, you can connect with the period that when this became, you know, a piece, how many things to life, how many things were happening at the same time.
This brings me to the next point. Of course, now we had the absolute pleasure to hear Erich Wolfgang Korngold's violin concerto in D major, played by
Leonidas Kavakos,
one of the best violin players ever existing. And Leonidas is really my hero, I can say. I truly love his play. So this piece was written after the Second World War. So he came back after this, you know, he had this invitation to go to Hollywood to write film music and so on, which is very, very famous in these years. I think of John Williams, Hans Zimmer, and so on, these people. So Korngold was one of the really celebrated artists at this time in Hollywood. But then he tried to come back to write classical music. Okay. So after 45, after Second World War, he returned to do this very difficult concerto. Did he have some influences of the film music he was writing?
Completely. From the first note, you feel like, you know, it's a movie music, you know. But you cannot underestimate film music. Never. Because it's really great music, very difficult. Last year, I'm a very good friend of John Williams, and he invited me to a recording session. They were doing this film, Tantan, and I went, you know, to conduct a few of the pieces. And when you see the music, is really difficult, and you need really good players to play that. So normally, studio orchestras, they'll say the best musicians that they can read and they can record immediately, very fast. So you can see that in this music still. When you start, not only for the violin, because for the violin it's very difficult. It's a very expressive music, but it's very virtuoso. But at the same time, what you have in the background of the violin is very difficult music for the orchestra too. But not only difficult music that, okay, you know, a composer wants to put a lot of notes to make suffer to the orchestra. No, it's a reason. It's line versus line, you know, playing together and create an atmosphere, you know. It's completely black and white, great, love scene, you know. This is completely connected to that. But also, it's so deep, the conception of the symphonic music. So I think sometimes you cannot separate film music to classical music, because it's classical music working for the image, and it's amazing. Of course, you need a great soloist to play,
which you have,
which we have. You need a great orchestra, of course, that we have. But it's so difficult to conduct, especially second movement.
Even for you.
Look, I don't know. I was talking to Leonidas yesterday evening, and I said, you never You will never get precise with this kind of recitativos because it's so free. Violin is so free. When violin is playing 12 notes, the rest of the orchestra, a group is playing 5 and the other are playing 9. How you can subdivide that to get the precision of that? Impossible. You need to give a gesture that you can put close together everything. But it's amazing music. So what you create with that kind of contrapoint, kind of how to say, musical element, is an atmosphere, exactly. It's a color. And you get completely, you cannot avoid, an image will come to you. You will think, oh, this can remember me a scene of a farewell, or a scene of love or happiness. So, and he's a great composer. As a classical,
and a film music.
As a film music that at the end is classical music.
Sure. So let's talk about the things still to come after the intermission.
Nietzsche.
Not only Nietzsche, but
Strauss, yes.
Richard Strauss has considered this piece, Also sprach Zarathustra, as one of his best works. Of course, as an homage to this philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche. And for me, after reading the original text, from Friedrich Nietzsche, it is, for me, as a German, it's quite difficult to read, the development of mankind.
Exactly, as a Superman.
As a superhero, Superman. This development, evolution in religious, in scientific and artistic and philosophical ways. So what is left for us as a modern man, modern people, what is left for us to understand in this music? Or is it just beautiful music to you?
First is amazing music. It's one of the greatest pieces in the history of the classical music, completely. We cannot, avoid that because I don't know how somebody can create. When you read Zarathustra and you go to the sunrise, when he's getting, and talking to the sun, it's amazing because it's the real feeling with the music. You can avoid the text, but you will feel. You will feel that. Yes, not as Superman, but that as a man, you have a power, not in the world, but in your spirit. I see Nietzsche philosophy as the spirit, no as a. You can take in many ways, You can interpret this, and you can take for your own life or for your own idea. Philosophical, spiritual, well, even social, even everything. But it's great about the spirit and about how big is our spirit. When we arrive to this place of happiness and passion, for the passion and happiness. Yes, you can conceive that as how Nietzsche said. You can never regret about the things that you have done. But you have only to enjoy and to put that because that is what your body and your soul is asking to do. Okay, you can say bad things. You can say good things, whatever happened. But this kind of passion, is clear. One day a friend of mine was telling me, yes, but this music is not the complete book, and it's true. We have only some titles, but very clear message in music of what is happening. When you see the passion and happiness, it's minor, it's dark. It's really like, you don't see any kind of happiness there. Never. It's dark.
Feelings.
It's this dark pushing. Yes, of course. It's passion, but from the passion you are getting the happiness. It's not from the happiness you are getting the passion.
Okay.
It's this kind of duality in the text.
Per aspera ad astra.
Exactly.
From the rough times to the stars. Yeah.
Exactly. And this kind of duality is this kind of Nietzsche, you love or you hate, but never in the middle.
Okay.
So you have to get in the right way to I think, to get the right message of what he was saying. For us, we are not here to talk about philosophy, because if you want to talk about Nietzsche, we sit here and we read. You know, we are doing some music that is especially connected to that message, exactly, to this message
Fantastic.
of the great man, of the, of this new no God, It's amazing when he said, God have died,
Man is his own God.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
For that time, can you imagine? That was a cataclysm,
Yeah.
Who can say
Scandal.
that God is dead?
Yeah.
So from that beginning, you can see in the most deep way, and you can take as a man the spiritual power of what you have.
Even,
and that is what
nowadays.
exactly in our days, even more important.
Okay.
Unifying, because yes, we live a very individual world, and Nietzsche is asking a little bit of that, But if you take in the right way, and you combine things that are inside of this conception, and you put in our new world, in our life, it's amazing, because if you don't change, but you understand in the right way, that kind of power is amazing for the spirit, especially for the spirit of the man.
So let's enjoy
absolutely
now with you and the orchestra, the Berlin Phil.
Enjoy and take the spirit of Strauss with this great
us.
music,
Thank
with
you.
the Berlin Philharmonic and this wonderful place.
Gustavo, it was a big honor and pleasure for me to talk to you. And I look forward to hear your fantastic performance of Also sprach Zarathustra. And I hope to see you very soon again.
Great.
Thank you so much.
It's a great pleasure. Thank you.